Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is ProfessorSistrunk, and I'm reaching back out there to you, the students. Okay, so this is going to be a real short, brief video log, and I'm sending this out to you because I want to keep this thing going through the class. While you're working on these different devices and these different sections, and you learning this material from all different points of view, from the desktop point of view, from the systems point of view, for the security point of view, which you're about to walk right into, I want to keep this cybersecurity, quote unquote, security format rolling all the way through until we complete this class. Now, this is just going to be a video log about the different viruses that are out there. Not that long, real short, because I already know you know this, so it makes no sense to spend time going through that whole rollout. But what I want to know from you is, have you ever been hacked? 1. What did you do to prevent the hack? What did you do to prevent the hack? 2. And 3, have you ever been afflicted by a virus? Tell me, how did you solve those problems? Tell me that, give me information on whether you've been through that particular situation. Like I said, I want to keep this short, but you will notice that all I'm talking about in this particular video log are the particular viruses and how they use them out there. Now, this was an interesting article that I came back today. Cybersecurity firms warns of potential ransomware attacks in the near future. So you know Microsoft was hacked. And a lot of us now have spent the last couple of weeks, if not a month, making sure we update our Outlook accounts because of the hack that Microsoft went through. But they are saying now that not only was Microsoft viciously hacked, but these companies that Microsoft, allowed them to use that Outlook, their mail service, may be facing, you ready to hear it? Ransomware attacks. So, interesting article. I thought I'll put it here so you can take a look at it. You can see what website it's on. Also, you're going to hear about another way that hackers try to hack organization. They come here to one of the most powerful organizations out there, or non-for-profit, that keeps the internet in line. You know about them, I can, and look up, and you can just look up any, as you can see right here. So you're really going through here, doing a little research, trying to find individuals who may be connected to the company, so you can call the company up and try to perpetrate like you work there and try to get more information. So hacking is getting big. Like I said, I'm gonna keep this short, but look for more information about this. I really appreciate reading your information about the different certifications. Keep it going. Remember the questions that I asked here. I will post them in a discussion question so you can begin to answer them. This is ProfessorSistrunk checking out. Okay, we are back. Now remember, at the beginning of this, I said we're going to start talking about this chapter 2 to deal with attacks. We're talking about concepts and techniques and the things that can cause problems for networks. Remember, you paying attention to what's happening out there in the real world. You see all the different type of attacks that some of these countries, some people are unleashing on America. And not America itself, but the businesses of America, which in truth affect all of us. So now in this particular chapter, you will go through the many different ways a person attack and all the different attack protocols that they use to actually attack us. And I say protocol because they seem like they done put their dictionaries together. But anyway, let me stop joking. So malicious software, malicious software that will attack our systems. These guys are getting creative. Blended attacks, meaning doing multiple attacks against us. They are getting really, really creative. Let's walk through this. So as we begin to walk through this, I said in the beginning, your focus point is about explaining, understanding their particular point of view, being able to describe these points of views so you can get a better understanding. And while you're working in this industry, your managers will know what you're actually talking about. Two types of vulnerabilities within a network, okay? You know these two types already, software and hardware. You know that major corporations like Apple, IBM, Microsoft, even Cisco has been attacked. Malicious software has been found on their systems. And you can go on the internet right now and see that a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month, Microsoft was attacked. And everybody has to do updates on Outlook now. But Cisco was attacked multiple times, and one of the major times that they was attacked, it afflicted the routers and switches out there. 1841s, 2811s, and 3825 routers was afflicted. Software is on every device out there, whether it's a cell phone, whether it's a laptop, a tablet. This is how they attack you with their malicious attacks, using their code to get inside of any one of these operating systems or iOS and begin to attack them. When it comes to hardware, one of the basic things that people fail to realize is that you have to actually physically protect the hardware. We talking about making sure no one can get next to the routers and switches, making sure that it is extremely locked down, because many people try to exploit that, being able to get near these devices. So they should be locked up in a room where no one can go in. They need authorization to get inside of these rooms. So these are two of the primary ways of attacking your organization. Remember that, software, hardware, okay? Now, of course, so remember, you also have certain type of categories of security vulnerabilities. And these can be buffer overflow. It can also be race conditions, weakness in security practices, access control problems. And I just talked about access control problems, allowing people who do not have the proper authority to get next to your devices. They should be protected. The equipment should be protected. These are basic security protocols that you should be following. So just make sure that you understand these different categories on how hackers can do malice or malicious things to get within inside of your organization. Types of malware. So this well. Types of malware. You got spyware attack. If you take a look at this particular picture here, you see that when an initial virus takes off, what can just happen in 19 hours? Look at this. It can spread rapidly. But we just witnessed that through a real virus, how quickly it can spread. And that was just people. So make sure you pay attention to these symptoms. I'm not going to go so deep into the symptoms, because one of the things you will be executing is the ability to make sure that you have the proper tools to protect against this. Okay, so now we're talking about social engineering. And social engineering, basically this is what the really, really bold hackers, those individuals out there who really consider themselves to be the top of the line hackers, will reach out to individuals within your organizations and build a relationship. So what you want to do is make sure to stop social engineering. It pretty much comes down to the IT department training. Most organizations that I have worked for, what we would do is consistently train people. And when I say train people, every month we had some type of IT training, whether it was something that they had to go through training on the internet, or it was something that they had to actually physically meet with a person, online training to make sure. That's a more better way, than that's what a lot of organizations are falling into now, to go back and do training like that. And that's simply a few applications, and I'll show you one in just a second, where you can go back and begin to train a person like that, vis-a-vis just sending them something over the internet and they know that they got a training to do. And what you can do is taper that training with their promotions or with their increases and raises. That'll motivate them to make sure that they do it. But make sure you understand pretexting, tailgating, and of course, you ain't gonna do no quid pro quo. I hope not. You don't want to go to jail. But anyway, let's move on. So, also you have out there where people are always trying to get access to your Wi-Fi password. If you're in the college, you know that using your college email, you're allowed to get a Wi-Fi password where you can just be on the college Wi-Fi. But you still, people in the IT department still have to watch that, because students sometimes give their friends these credentials and let them use them. But we hope that you can protect yourself. So, you know what a brute force attack is. That's just what we call, in so many words, a dictionary attack. Well, we're using a bunch of passwords, a bunch of known passwords to actually try to hack into a system. Network sniffing, you need to be a little bit more technical for that, because you need certain type of applications. And one of the applications you already know about, packet tracer. Any type of packet tracer application, we can utilize that to actually sniff networks. So we got a lot of different applications out there that we can use to actually go through networks, social engineering, etc., etc. And at the end of this, I'm gonna bring up some of the VMs so you can see what type of applications we have in there that we can use to hack. Okay, moving right along. You know about phishing. You know they just trying to, send you some type of email that's have something in there where they want you to click on, hey, you got $1 million. Give us your first name and last name so we can give it to you. You know they have that type of stuff. You don't be tricked by that, but make sure you understand what phishing is all about so you can train someone and prevent yourself from being caught up in that type of malware attack. Let's see what else we got in here. So if you look at this, who is tools, if you click on this, you'll see how they do this type of finding out who the person is within the corporation. So if I know Cisco, I can potentially find people names at Cisco, and once I find their names, give them a call and just say, hey, I need some information. Or I can do port sniffing and use that tool to go actually out and begin to sniff different ports to try to see what type of port information I can get back. Now, Cisco is a lot clever than that. You're not going to be able to pull that off of Cisco, but some small to medium-sized business, you can actually execute that on. That's good to make sure that you pay attention to. These are advanced techniques, so you need tools to make sure that you don't get hit with these type of techniques. Now, we're going into super advanced techniques, DOS attacks, denial of service attacks, these type of malice attacks. And that's just simply flooding your server with a bunch of pings so you can try to slow down the network. That's when you just want to damage a company's network because you got some agenda for disliking or hating that particular company, and you want to slow everything down. but you can go into a DDoS attack, and that way you can use other computers to do that. Remember that botnet I was telling you about? This is what you use that botnet for, to actually send out messages from multiple computers, and then they just flood your server and shut it down. So make sure you understand that particular attack too. So now I'm gonna stop right here because I'm not gonna go make this video log too long. But SEO poisoning, that's just making sure that these individuals create these fake websites and have you come to these websites and give up your information. But that's really on the advanced side. You don't have to worry about that, because most of the places you're gonna make sure you look for this little lock right here before you do any transactions. That lock signifies that that is a secure network. It makes sure that that network is secure. So I'm gonna stop the video here, and then I'm gonna send it up and let you guys go. Now remember, in the beginning of this, I asked you a question, so make sure you answer that question in the discussion question.